Hey guys, I am back again for another video on this channel after a long bit, aside from the short I created, but yeah, I'm back. Anyways, just cutting right off the dang bat, I don't have any regrets when I say that I love 1998's Godzilla. The movie may not be perfect, and certainly not the best Godzilla film to exist, but this iteration will forever be one of my favorites in Godzilla history. As of late, I've been in the mood for Godzilla by rewatching this movie and its amazing animated series that follows up, alongside catching up with the MonsterVerse, watching some older films like The Return of Godzilla from 1984, which actually I really do like, and then finally get them watching some recent stuff like Godzilla Minus One and Godzilla Singular Point, both of which I've enjoyed on their own separate merits. But to stick on the topic of Godzilla 1998, I've also gone ahead and collected some action figures on the film by Treadmasters and one particular toy from the Toy Biz collection so far. So of course this collection isn't complete, but I wanted to make a video expressing my love for this iteration of Godzilla. So to kick things off, here are the only human characters I own from the Treadmasters toy line. I have all the principal characters made, yet I don't have every variation of each. I've only had two versions of Nick, both the standard and deluxe versions, while I only have Animal in his standard version, and I did cover both these figures in previous videos made a long while ago. Jean-Luc is only available as a standard figure, and the rest of the figures are the deluxe variations of Felipe and O'Neill. These deluxe figures will come in vehicle sets, but I don't have those, not yet, but I will get them soon, whenever I get the time. I really like these figures, and I'm also glad they went with the 3 3/4 inch scale, because, you know, that's the perfect scale for me when it comes to collecting these action figures. They're not perfect, but they still look quite good. Also, side note, Jean-Luc's clothing literally reminds me of Billy Brandon from the Jurassic Park 2009 toy line. I mean, just look at the color scheme, it almost looks similar. Now on to the next set of figures I own so far, and it's the many baby Godzillas. I have yet to get 2 more from the Treadmasters line, alongside the eggs that came with the smaller ones. Honestly, these figures are surprisingly big for their scale, but not surprising since they're about as big as the raptors from Jurassic Park. The ones I have so far are Baby X, which came with a piece of skin that I don't have, Hammerfoot, which has a spring-loaded leg for stomping or kicking, Claw Slasher, which you already know what that one does if you picked up on the action feature, Tail Thrasher, which is my favorite of the bunch because of the long tail, Razor Fang, which reminds me of a Kenner Lost World Jurassic Park figure in terms of its paint scheme, and one hatchling called Monster Claw. While I'm not a big fan of the posture of these and the main Godzillas of the Treadmasters toy line, the sculpt, paint, and detail of all of them are very awesome, and they also range from being very cute to being very creepy. Looking at you, Razor Fang. Now this one I've already shown in the short, which is the very first Godzilla I've owned, and it's the Shatter Godzilla. As I said in that said short, it's an amazing figure. The articulation in this guy is great, and it can give out some good posability, and it can stand up a bit more of an accurate position. One thing I never noticed when I first had this figure was that the opening jaw is actually a missile launcher, and that could really explain the hole in the back of its head. Of course, I don't have the accessories it came with, but I'm still very happy to own this guy again. The next Godzilla figure I own before buying the Shatter Godzilla again is the living Godzilla figure. Since I got this one on the cheaper side, the motorized features and sounds do not work, unfortunately, and since the mouth was originally supposed to be propped open by pressing the button on its pecs, I could only prop the mouth open with a piece of an extra Chapmay shovel that I use. Aside from that, this is a fantastic figure in terms of its scale, sculpt, and detail. I said before with the baby Godzillas, but the posture is not my favorite. They made these figures stand up like the traditional Godzilla, which is not how this creature is supposed to be standing. But maybe the company wanted them to go well with the previously made traditional Godzilla figures before 1998. Now for the last figure I can show, which is one that I'm definitely more happy to own, and it's Toy Biz's Fast Attack Godzilla figure. One thing to already know that this used to be an RC toy, so the RC aspect does not work at all, since I got it on the cheaper side, of course. So I had no use for the wired controller that it actually came with, and I cut it off. Hope I didn't make all you collectors out there upset for that. But what can I say other than I'm impressed with the size of this toy? I was looking for a good T-Rex sized version of this Godzilla, and it turns out this one was just perfect. Not to mention, it's posed exactly how the character should be posed. While it's not as incredibly detailed as the Treadmasters figures, they do win on film accuracy and the paint scheme and the pose. It's definitely my favorite Godzilla that I have so far in my growing collection. And just look at these comparisons with some of the Mattel Jurassic figures I have looked at in the past, just to get a good idea how nicely they scaled up. Since I've always seen this version of Godzilla as sort of a Jurassic Park inspired take on the creature, this is just great. I know there's an actual Gojirosaurus out there when it comes to dinosaur research, but there's also a Gojirosaurus in some of the Godzilla media out there. If anything, I kind of see Godzilla 1998, or Zilla, if some people call it, as another version of a Gojirosaurus. So that's it for the collection of Godzilla 1998 action figures that I have so far. Like I said before, this isn't a complete collection, as I'll be collecting more figures and sets based on this movie whenever I get the time to do so. And to prepare myself for one of my upcoming films after The Reign of the Terror Croc, which is an upcoming sequel to The Island of the Demon Rex. I still highly recommend you go watch that movie if you still haven't. I'm still very proud of that movie, and I'm very excited to continue the Sunny Saga of Jurassic Park toy movies. The third chapter of the Sunny Saga will be called The Terror of the Zillosaurus for now. The title may be changed depending on how the script will turn out. So with that, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I love this movie, and nothing can ever change that. I will be seeing you guys later.